Hands-Free Podcast.
If you're happy and you're fat, raise your hand. Not me. If you're happy and you're fat, raise your hand. Not me. If you're happy and you're fat, get the banana hammock in your stomach because you won't be so fat anymore. Not me.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic edition of the Pants-Free Podcast. Pants never required. Here now is your host, Balonius Francine Marconi, and his podcast compadre, Nick Miles.
Oh, man. Hey, how's it going? Yes, welcome to another edition of the Pants Free Podcast and all that kind of stuff. Today, I just got back from jury duty. I nearly went to prison.
I didn't know. Why, did you commit perjury?
No, I don't know what it was, but there's an detainment center next door to the Justice Center that I was in, and it was kind of odd. They gave us free lunch, but it was weird. Stamped bologna and cigarette butt sandwiches didn't seem right. It was odd, but delicious, but odd.
No, that's what they're calling the prisons nowadays, containment centers.
I don't know whatever that was. Hey, look, what do you think? I'm a prison expert or something?
Yeah, well, no, because, a toilet is also some kind of containment center.
Oh, well, that's kind of funny you said that. While we waited, we got to watch closed-circuit TV of a guy on screen just showing us how to make prison toilet wine. It looked awesome.
I think I'd rather be non-alcoholic than drink anything out of a prison toilet.
Well, suit yourself, sir. And you, by the way, what do you have, a new stomach now? Are you carrying a colostomy bag? What's going on with you? Last time we talked, you said you were going into like a Mexican, I don't know, prison to have a stomach stapling or something?
Yeah. Well, there's 80% less of my stomach now. Now I had my stomach removed.
So what? You just cut out the middleman, basically, and then you don't even eat anymore? What?
Yeah. I can't eat food for a month. But no, not what we would consider food. However, here's the deal. So imagine the size of a banana skin, and that is about the size of my stomach.
Great. Now I have to imagine. Every time I eat a banana, I'm going to think of your stomach. Great. Thanks.
Nick's stomach. Delicious.
It is delicious. But no, what did you learn about through this whole thing? Did anything go the way you didn't think it was going to go?
I learned my Spanish could be improved because the doctors, there was 3 doctors, so there's 10 patients in the ward at one time. They're all Americans. They all, and the doctors are Spanish. The people that run the clinic are American, and the nurses are Spanish. The doctors speak great English, no trouble. Ask questions, they help you. The nurses, they hardly speak any. So, several times when the nurse came up and she goes, "Wanna pee pee poo poo?" I wished that I wouldn't have had to hear that. And then when I ran out of toilet paper, having to do the actions of needing toilet paper because I didn't know the right word, that wasn't pleasant. This is what toilet paper is in Spanish. Papel higiénica.
Well, there you go. Well, now you know. So you learned something. It's a learning experience.
I went out and said, can I have papel higiénica? And they went, papel higiénica? No, can I have some? So then I realized, they didn't know what "can I have" is. Oh,
they wanted you to just...
They probably would sit back there, watch us with this English guy.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. After last week's recording of the podcast, James Gandolfini died. Paula Deen was fired from the Food Network for racist comments, and Kim and Kanye named their baby supposedly Northwest. I don't really believe that. I think that's a bunch of crap. But
no, I think that they released a fake name.
Yeah,
I think that's a fake name. But, at the same time if their child is wet and dank, then yes, I would call it Northwest too.
See what you did there? And then Paula Deen gets fired for racist comments or statements or the N-word or whatever. But now that leaves a big hole in the world. Who is going to be the next Queen of Butter?
Well, I also,
Are you running for Queen of Butter? Is that what you're trying to say now?
No, I'm Queen of Olive Oil. But I will tell you
that... No, that was me. You're not even Italian at all. There's nothing about...
Oh, I am. I am 100% Italian.
Oh, okay.
My family is directly... We came from Italy to England in the year 0 with Caesar. Our original last name was Milo, and we came over as foot soldiers. We were known for our marching abilities.
I don't know if I believe any of this. I mean, how can I trust you? I mean, you went to a Mexican hospital. Come on.
It's 100% true, and then we married the locals after shagging them.
All right. So are you like from northern Italy? That's where my family comes from, the top of the boot.
I don't know. I have no idea. However, I do know that...
You don't know? I mean, I think you'd like try to learn a little bit about your history. I mean, I know mine.
I can't remember, but I'll ask my mom if she remembers.
All right. Well, yeah, you know what you should do? You take one of those fancy cameras of yours and interview your parents and get it for for prosperity. Because is it prosperity or posterity?
I think it's posterity.
Who
prosperity
cares?
is when you earn money.
Nobody expects me to know anything. By the way, Nick, I love food, and I know you do too, and this is going to be the hardest thing to talk about right now because I actually was teasing Nick the other day because I was just eating a slice of Dave's Killer Bread. Just a piece of bread, nothing on it. That's how good it is. And I will just occasionally do that. I mean, it's not like everyday occurrence, but it's so delicious that it's perfect for even if you're just like, hey, you know what? I need to leave. I don't have time to make a sandwich. I'm just gonna have a piece of Dave's Killer Bread. That's better than not having a piece of Dave's Killer Bread. And poor Nick, you're not allowed to eat for a month. So I mean, you're just sitting there probably drooling and salivating at the mouth, wishing you could taste some of this deliciousness.
Actually, it's only 3 weeks now.
See the countdown.
3 weeks until I can have myself another slice of Dave's Killer Bread.
Well, I see. That's how good it is. Even Nick, who's had this dramatic surgery to help him lose weight, is thinking about Dave's Killer Bread, even when he can't have it. That is a sign of a great product, and Dave's Killer Bread is the best.
And now it's time for Pants Free News.
Nick, this is the best part of the podcast. Everybody thinks so, and it's all because of you. Put on your knee-high socks and your news wig, and let's go.
Who said gay is okay?
Well, it's pretty cool because finally the Supreme Court showed that they're a little bit more useful than a Supreme Pizza, and they overturned Proposition 8 in California, which means that gay marriage is legalized.
Yeah, it's quite a complicated process of overturning it because they didn't actually overturn a lot of them. They just said that the lower court rulings stood, which had supported gay marriage, and therefore that they couldn't overrule it. And the other one was that DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, was illegal because it treated citizens differently. So the result is that gay marriage is back on in California, and it looks like license will be issued soon, and many states will now be issuing gay marriage license immediately.
So do you think this opened the door for the rest of the country to do it?
Well, I think Lowell and I would probably have a big gay wedding.
Yeah. Well, are you going to move to California now or Washington?
No, we should be able to do it in Oregon. It'll happen up here sooner or later.
So you're standing your ground. You're saying, I'm not moving to have my big gay wedding. I'm staying right here. We have it in the backyard with the dog.
Oh, yeah. No, we probably have a church. I want to do a whole full wedding with cars and everything.
Are you affiliated with any kind of church?
No.
Well, so I guess what I'm saying is, why would you have it at a church? Just to show them that you could?
A nice oldie churchy might be fun.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll come to your after party if I'm invited.
Why wouldn't you be there?
Because I'll burn alive in a church. You know that.
Yeah, so we can have you. There is a procedure to have you put in holy water and then oil for the next 3 days before the wedding and soaked. And then when you're taken to the ceremony, it takes almost all the ceremony to burn through to the inner layers of the clothes.
No, you have to see the movie Dogma if you haven't seen it already. Then you'll understand.
It's the news.
Who did a switch and bait on baby pics?
Kim and Kanye, they put out bogus baby pics to each of their friends to see who would be the one that would betray them and leak the pictures to the media. And I guess a couple of them did, so they found out who they were. I just want to know who they are now.
Yeah, I think it was a brilliant idea, by the way. More thumbs up to them. Although
this is the only thing that was really interesting to me about this entire pregnancy. The rest of it was just annoying because they don't seem very intelligent. Like they would come up with a scheme like this.
I think it's a great idea that they're endorsing it. That's awesome, and I would really support the fact that catch the bastards. You know, if I had pictures of my kids out there and someone was selling to the newspaper, I wish I'd devised a clever little plan to find their cheaty asses.
Find all the links to everything Pants Free Podcast exclusively at pantsfreepod.com.
Who was in an old school rock and roll hotel brawl at the Four Seasons?
Oh, yeah, I saw this video earlier in the week, and Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I have no idea what happened, but he was just walking into his hotel with his girlfriend. He was wearing the hotel slippers of the Four Seasons, and he was just walking casually into the front door, and then a security guard, no, sorry, sir, I'm sorry, sir, for whatever reason. And then suddenly, Anthony Kiedis was wrestled to the ground. Now, Nick, I don't know, you've probably stayed at the Four Seasons before. It's not a cheap hotel.
Right.
I've never seen a hotel not let somebody walk into the door. That's kind of the opposite of what.
Yeah, usually they take them into a counter and then they ask them to, go leave, whatever.
Well, but there's no reason, like, you can walk into any hotel because there's usually a bar or a restaurant, and Four Seasons has both. And so I didn't get, like, why he's being roughed up. And then this shows to me a lot about Anthony Kiedis. I don't know if you looked at the video or not, but he gets up after being roughed up. And it's embarrassing. I mean, you're Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're a famous guy, and you're being tackled to the ground for who knows what reason. And then he gets up and shakes the guy's hand. Now, that is a class act. I mean, Kanye West and Chris Brown could take a few notes from Anthony Kiedis' behavior.
Let's go with who is happy that the canyon was not so windy?
Oh, are you talking about the guy that walked the Grand Canyon?
Mr. Wallander.
Now, his name is Nick, and it's spelled the same way you spell your Nick.
I know.
Maybe Paula Deen should walk the tightrope of the Grand Canyon, and maybe she could.
No, she could never do it. There'd be too much butter, and she'd slip.
Maybe she could zip line across the Grand Canyon
with a pound of butter below her into a big trough of butter.
Well, okay, so if you were gonna pick for the next person to do a high wall, for forgiveness, and this would be like, hey, you can't keep being a jerk, and you can't keep doing dumb things. Would you forgive who would you be the easiest to forgive? Paula Deen, Chris Brown, or Kanye?
Paula Deen.
So if she zip-lined across the Grand Canyon, you'd be like, all right, all is forgiven.
I think no, because that doesn't help her in reforming her anti-African American slang.
No, you're right, but it would be hilarious.
Which Brown is going downtown?
Oh, man. Chris Brown did something stupid again, right?
Very stupid.
He did a hit and run?
Yep.
Now, if this guy, if this doesn't over solidify the fact that we already knew he was an a-hole, and he was instigating a-holery on constant. It's never for anything good. Like, you never hear, well, Chris Brown, despite all the efforts to make him out to be an a-hole, he turns out he did something nice today. No, he it was a hit and run deal, right? His vehicle.
Yes, and he just kept going like a douchebag.
So what happened?
The best I can understand from the story is that Chris Brown, in all his glory, and there was no confirmation, by the way, that alcohol was on board, but I know with Chris Brown, you always expect there to be some kind of shenanigans going on. And he was driving along in his car. I think the last time that he had a similar incident like this too, he had Rihanna in the car with him, but this time he was driving along the car on his own, and he collided with somebody. And it's only a misdemeanor, the hit and run, but he collided with somebody in Los Angeles, and he didn't have a valid driver's license. So the city attorney is now saying that they will file charges on Tuesday. And the accident happened back in May, by the way, in San Fernando Valley. And if convicted, he could face up to 1 year in jail. July 15th is when it's going to be at Van Nuys Courthouse. That's when the trial date will be, to see if he's staying out of jail. You know he will. He'll find some great thing to stay out of jail.
Well, what I love is he's tweeting, my lawyers will be contacting you. I will not stand for this bullying. Chris
Anyway,
Brown is whining about being bullied.
But he's also on felony probation. He's a felon. He can never have a firearm. He can never vote. He's a felon. He's done felony things, and this actually may revoke his felony status, and he may be forced into jail. Like, it may revoke his probation.
And Chris Brown claims in this hit and run situation that he wouldn't have had to do the hit and run if the car would have just listened to him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nick, there it is, another edition of the Pants Free Podcast. Thank you, with a hole in your stomach, for in Detroit, nonetheless. Where will you be next time I talk to you?
I think I'm going to be home for a couple of weeks, and then I'm off to Vancouver, BC, Seattle, Northern California, New York, and Washington, D.C.
Well, I love you for taking time. I realize that, you've been traveling all day already. I mean, I've been on jury duty. We just, can we get a break? I think the next podcast should just be you and me just taking a nap together.
Here's Nick Marconi napping for this week's podcast.
Well, until next time, I'm Balonius Francine Marconi, along with my podcast compadre Nick Miles, saying... Nick, it's over. It's okay.
Hello?
Pantalones a libero.
Join us again next time for another glorious edition of the Pants Free Podcast. Don't leave me here all by myself. I'm so lonely.